Next on Startup, we head to South Burlington, Vermont to talk to Ben and Jeff, who own MusicStoreLive. Then we head over to Boston, Massachusetts to talk to Michelle, who started LovetheCool and Secret Boston. All of this and more is next on Startup.
There is nothing easy about starting a small business. A Baker's Tale, all natural and gluten-free cookies, tarts, pies, and cakes online. A Baker's Tale is proud to support Startup and all of the entrepreneurs out there trying to sweeten their own story of success.
The American small business was built on one thing: relationships. And every time a customer walks through the door, a new one begins. Pay Anywhere was built to help entrepreneurs do what they do best. So keep loving what you do. Just get paid for it. Pay Anywhere.
The Michigan Economic Development Corporation is proud to support Startup and all the dreamers, thinkers, and doers. Pure Michigan, ready for the next big thing.
You've written your own story of success, and it shows. Chrysler is proud to support Startup and all the people out there who define their own success.
My name is Gary Brito, and I'm a documentary filmmaker and an entrepreneur. The economy is in less than perfect shape, and when the jobs go away, there's nothing left to do but get up and get creative. And there are people all over America doing just that. It's estimated that up to 85% of new businesses fail. So I'm going coast to coast to hear the personal stories of the people who beat the odds and started a successful business from the ground up. This is Startup. I'm on Burrard Drive in South Burlington, Vermont. And I'm gonna go talk to Ben and Jeff, the creators of MusicStoreLive, an online music store that's making some serious noise in the industry. Let's go hear their story. Guitars are the most commonly played instruments next to the piano. The earliest known stringed instruments were the bowl harp and the tambur, used among the Sumerians, Babylonians, and Egyptians. Combining their deep knowledge of both guitars and e-commerce, Ben and Jeff knew that they could string together a successful business.
My name's Jeff Santoro.
My name is Ben Werlin, and we're MusicStoreLive.com.
And our mission is to provide you with a team of musicians that fuses the spirit of the local guitar shop with the convenience of the web.
Okay, so buying used instruments and then selling them for a markup.
Right.
That's the whole model.
Exactly.
How did it start?
I was doing some freelance work out in California, and I met up with my brother in San Francisco, and we decided to go to Yosemite for a night. We're sitting on this big boulder of a rock. You can see the stars and the moon, and just having a beer with my brother, you know. And
let's start a band called The Doors.
Yeah, man. So
go make $1 million.
He asked me. My brother had been buying guitars on Craigslist and selling them on eBay, that type of thing. And he asked me, Ben, how can I get an employee and sort of expand my business? All of a sudden, a light bulb went off. And I said, wait a minute, we should totally partner up. And so right from the beginning, our goal was, hey, let's see if we can revolutionize the way guitars are sold online.
So how did it go from eBay to what it is now? I mean, what was the next big step?
Sure.
Was it a site?
Yeah, I mean, we built up our website, and also offering our customers way more than the typical guitar shop does. You know, when a guitar comes in here, it gets really gorgeous high-end photos. It gets a personal description. We call it our player's perspective. So Al, our writer, he sits down, plays the guitar, and he's a pro-level player.
Yeah.
He describes exactly what it feels like in his hands. And a lot of instruments will actually get a video demo.
Oh, cool.
So Bob Wagner or Al, they'll demo the guitar. And so the goal is really to bring the guitar shop to your living room.
Vermont is ranked number 8 out of the top 10 entrepreneurial states. It's home to famous startups such as Ben & Jerry's Ice Cream, IBM, and General Electric.
My role in the company is around a lot of the systems, financial management, inventory management, customer management, basically all the back-end fun data stuff that no one ever wants to think about.
Awesome. Well, tell me about the early days of the website. Did it start out very crude versus where it's gone to now?
Yeah, absolutely. So when we first started out, we had just a static page, and then we piggybacked off of eBay. And then we finally, got big enough to bust out and build a whole full e-com platform.
How was it to work with Amazon or eBay?
They were great to work with. They're built to allow people to sell on their platform. So getting up and running with them is very, very easy.
The age-old issue with online companies is traffic. How did you drive traffic to this?
We pay attention to search engine marketing and all sorts of, when you build your site, make sure it's SEO friendly, that type of thing. And we've built up quite an email list, and so we're able to market to that list.
So you're saying to other people out there watching this that building an email list from day one is important?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Any business, I think, needs an email list.
And it keeps you in really good contact with your customer base.
Yeah. Especially
collectors. When did you stumble across MusicStoreLive?
When I visited the webpage, I didn't quite understand the concept at first, because I tried calling and trying to get in the store and wanted to see the storefront, and they had to explain to me, no, we're more of an internet store.
Yeah.
But what I dug about it the most was this place offers some more boutique equipment than you'll find at the local music stores.
Sure.
The other stores, they kind of cater to what they're able to sell the easiest and the most.
And what about dealing with the guys and the functionality of the website? How's the whole experience?
It's very cool because I can call them up, I can talk to them about gear. They have a wonderful return policy in case you think you want something and you realize, oh, maybe this isn't exactly what I'm looking for. It's a very hassle-free zone here with that.
Okay, let's say that I go to your site, I like a guitar, but I'm not here to physically play it. I can watch a video, I can see everything, but I'm not touching it. Is there any sort of system in place that I can get a guitar and try it out?
Yeah, absolutely. What we do is we allow people to buy a guitar from us. They get to try it out in their home with their own gear, with their own band for 2 weeks. And then if they want to return it, the shipping's on us. They just get store credit so they can try out the next piece of gear that they want.
Sweet. So if I, for my next gig, open it up for warrant, I can just order a Paul Reed Smith and
you can do that. We've had many people
beat the heck out of it and send it back.
Well, it's got to come back in the same condition, but yeah.
So does all of your inventory come from random people selling it, or do you deal with manufacturers at all?
We deal a lot with manufacturers, and that's a real great thing for us because we can say, hey, we want 5 of this guitar. And that allows us to take photos and write a description of one guitar, but yet have the ability to sell 5. Whereas if you're buying from an individual person, there's going to be a dent, a ding, a scratch on it, and that's going to need its own set of photos, its own listing. So
and there's one.
There's one.
What's your name? And tell me, what is this room that we're in right now?
My name is Paul Camegno. I'm the guitar tech here at MusicStoreLive, and this is the Tech Cave.
The Tech Cave. What all amazing things happen in the Tech Cave?
This is where your guitar comes to play well, to play better. Usually you get a guitar from the factory, it gets jostled around in shipping, and I just make it play good again.
So when you get a new guitar in, what kind of shape are they in? I mean, they're in good shape, so there's not a lot that goes into it. But how about a used one that you're getting off like Craigslist or something like that?
I mean, every guitar needs a setup. Like as soon as it comes on my bench, it has to go through the same process. They're made of wood. The environment changes them, humidity, heat, all that sort of thing. So the first thing you check is the truss rod. You want to make sure that the neck is straight. If it's too flat, you hit a nice chord in the middle of the neck, you get too much buzz.
Yeah.
It's a lot of just detail-oriented work.
Leo Fender, the creator of Fender guitars, didn't actually know how to play the guitar. The saxophone was Leo's instrument of choice. What would you recommend to other people in the way of their business plan and utilizing local resources like SCORE and SBA and all of that?
Sure. Well, I mean, SBA was a huge element for us in terms of this is what banks want to see on your business plan, and these are the projections that they want to see in terms of what types of results you expect.
Did it seem like a low-risk opportunity for that? Obviously, right?
No.
So how did you really do it? Gunpoint?
I think most banks probably would have turned us down.
Sure.
But the local credit union was all about funding local small businesses, and we can't thank them enough because there's no way we could have grown the way we have without their help.
And what do sales look like now? Give me a snapshot of your business.
We're right around $6 million per year.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
That's crazy.
Man, you made some good decisions along the way. What would you attribute your ability to make this successful to?
So Jeff has set up, the website, which talks to both eBay and Amazon, and we create these systems and we fine tune them, and the whole team gets involved with how we can make things better. So
great, and that's what you'd attribute to, basically a good partnership.
Yeah.
Somebody picking up where you leave off.
Exactly. I wouldn't have the skills to develop that type of infrastructure, but Jeff's a genius at it.
What has been the biggest challenge or hardship you've had to overcome over building this?
I think growing too fast certainly presents challenges. In 2013, we grew 140%.
Wow.
And we just didn't have the systems in place to keep up with it. So actually, the biggest thing I took out of that is slow growth is way healthier if you can pull that off.
Now, I have not touched a guitar in many moons, so this is going to be really humiliating.
The important part that it plays well.
It plays really well. The player is the problem, I think. There are a million ways to start a business, but how did Ben and Jeff do it? Let's find out. They had an average credit score of around 800 and started with about $100,000 in the bank, which was a loan from Ben's previous company. Their first year sales were over $1 million, with the company operating that year at a profit. The one word that they would use to describe what it really takes to make it in business is resilience. They say the music industry is filled with sax and violins, but not with these guys. They focus primarily on guitars, basses, and amps. When you have a clever idea, it's always good to scale back on expenses to avoid any minor setbacks. Or someone could come along, take your idea, and try to trump it. But it looks like Music Store Live is going to stay on a high note for a long time to come. For more information, log on to our website and click the link from Music Store Live. I'm on South Street in Boston, Massachusetts, and I'm going to go talk to Michelle, the creator of LovetheCool, a digital media agency, and Secret Boston, Boston's coolest community. Let's go hear her story. Digital technology entered the mainstream in the 1980s, and its usage has continued to skyrocket. In 1996, the average American spent a measly 30 minutes a day online, which has jumped to a whopping 11 hours a day in 2014. Michelle took her background in digital consulting and event planning to a whole new level with her unique services, capturing the attention of some major international brands.
My name is Michelle McCormack. I'm a digital consultant. I own LovetheCool and Secret Boston. My mission statement is to always remain on the cutting edge of digital technology.
All right, so tell me about yourself.
So I went to college in New York City at the School of Visual Arts. I majored in photography, worked with all the biggest magazines, Vogue, Vanity Fair, Town & Country, traveled around the world.
Wow.
Yeah, it was awesome. I was a black and white printer for Annie Leibovitz. I did a lot of really cool, I was privileged, to be honest. That was in the mid-90s. By the late 90s, I saw the writing on the wall with digital. I knew that my field was gonna either become obsolete or there's just gonna be very few people.
Print, you mean?
Print, magazine, well, being a photographer, stylist, only having that skill. That stuff still exists, but if you don't have the digital skill, there are a lot less people that get that job.
So talk about that transition. I went through it as well.
Oh, did you?
Well, when digital used to be added value, and now it's the primary focus. So
exactly. I made a choice to leave New York, come back to Boston, where I grew up, and take an internship at an incubator. And I was like their person that was learning HTML. And I was programming, yeah. I became a web designer and a Flash designer.
Awesome.
That was my first digital thing.
All right, give me an elevator pitch. What is LovetheCool? Explain it to me like I'm a 3-year-old.
Okay, we're digital consultants. We help brands leverage digital effectively.
Wait, explain exactly how you could help me. Let's say that I'm company X and I come to LovetheCool. What can I expect?
I have 360 understanding of like building websites, UX, social media, building communities, productivity tools, all of it. And so I can come in and tell any size company what they're doing wrong and what they're doing right, what they should be doing a little more. Like, so
how did you start? Like, what was the first client?
Wasn't like, yeah, first client. Like, I had already been doing little things for people.
Got it.
Especially because I'm a very early adopter of Twitter. I think I was on Twitter like the first month. And so people were always calling me, asking me for help. You know, when you're first to the game in something, you have people that are like, they pick your brain.
Yeah.
As if, you know, like when you meet a doctor or something, people are like, so I
got this spot right here.
Yeah, people are, and they're still like that with me, but back then people were very much like that with me, as if it was like a hobby. Like I even had companies that would call me and not really want to necessarily pay as much as it was worth.
It's an absolute necessity for relevance at this point.
And you know why? It's because their kid is on Facebook, or Twitter, and so they're not, in their mind, they're thinking, this is a hobby, this is what kids do. But I'm like, come in and do what I do. Build a community of 100,000 people and activate them like that. That is valuable.
The Massachusetts Institute of Technology, or MIT, invented the first computer in Cambridge in 1928. But it wasn't until 1981 that IBM launched the first personal computer.
What else do you do? I'm sure you have your hands in some other things as well.
So LovetheCool is really also an umbrella for other big projects that I do.
Okay.
And so Fashions Night Out is one of them. It was one of my first big projects that I did. It was like a huge citywide shopping event where the retailers would stay open all night long but not offer discounts. And so because of my Secret Boston community, I started a Facebook page called Fashions Night Out, and I just started driving all those people over to it.
What is Secret Boston?
So Secret Boston is a community of almost 100,000 young people, 18 to 34, hyper-local. Almost 100% of them are from the greater Boston area. I started it on Facebook as a page, a public page, purely as a way to test strategies for my clients. And within like a week, I had thousands of followers.
What kind of content were you posting to attract people, young people, you know, people that go out?
Sure, well, it was stuff like that. The demographic is like a lot of musicians, artists, stuff like that. I remember for one period of time I did like Musician of the Week, and so I would have musicians post their SoundCloud players to the page, and then whoever got the most, like it was like that those tactics that people were using in the early days of social media, like this, but I was also getting a lot of distribution from really cool people in Boston, and they are so loyal to me still to this day.
So having such a huge community with Secret Boston, how were you able to transition that into monetizing?
So it's become almost like flypaper for clients at this point. Big brands come to me that want access to my community, and I will sell them, if they're appropriate, I'll give them, they'll buy sponsorship. They'll buy Facebook posts.
Pay a post?
Yeah, email blast. A party, I'll drive my community to them as sort of a sponsorship. So that's one way I monetize. But then I also will pitch them as a client for LovetheCool. I'll ask them, I'll be working with the team closely, and I'll see what they're doing right or wrong. And I'll offer my services.
Start by telling us who you are and how you're affiliated with Michelle and LovetheCool.
Yeah, so my name's Kim Reisman. I'm a city manager at Instacart in Boston.
What is Instacart?
Instacart is a same-day grocery delivery service.
So why hire a company like Michelle's?
I think what really attracted us to what she did was her massive community that she's built with Secret Boston.
Okay.
Over the winter, we had major spikes in demand, so we needed shoppers and we needed them really fast. And she has this amazing online community and was able to recruit quite a few shoppers using social media.
So you chose her because she can reach your specific demo that you're looking for?
Yes, and because our job here at Instacart Boston is to focus on the Boston market, she really captured what we were looking for.
Boston Market, so you work with Boston Market, the chicken?
No,
sorry, I had to
not
slip
yet.
that in there. Tell me about one of the clients you're working with right now, larger client that you're really proud of the relationship.
So Uber, car service.
Yeah.
They launched here in Boston in 2012, and I was one of the first people they called to help spread the word, to get them users.
That's when you know you have some local power.
You do, yeah, exactly. And I work with them still today.
Do you have an actual investor that came to the table to bring revenue in?
I have one investor. I just got him this year.
Why did you need an investor?
To grow.
Okay.
For me, I was always like, well, this is cool. I'm gonna be in a magazine. I'm gonna I'm gonna get all this exposure.
Yeah.
And the investor that I happen to have is so business minded. They're not impressed by anything other than
bottom line.
The bottom line, which in the past, 5 years ago, I would have been like, I am not working with somebody like that.
But it keeps you honest, and it's a system of checks and balances to keep,
If you're in business
growth.
long enough, you start to realize, you're not gonna be able to stay in business if you don't start taking this seriously. It can't be all about the creative.
Companies with an active blog generate 67% more leads per month. The fact is, people love blogs, especially when they find them on their favorite company's website.
How does it affect your personal life? Are you married, kids, any of that?
No, I have a boyfriend.
Okay. So you just can come and go and do your own thing?
It doesn't affect my personal life, my business at all. It is like I live this thing. You see people say oh, you have to shut it down and go into the woods and unplug. I don't want to unplug. I love this. I don't need a weekend. I think
You're centered.
I am, and I think the internet's making the world a better place. I love digital. I can't wait for the future.
All right, so what has been the biggest challenge, hurdle, obstacle you've had to overcome starting your own thing?
People taking social media seriously. Brands weren't sure that it actually was going to stay around, that it was worth investing in. During that time, all I could do was work because I cared about this. I believed in this.
Yeah.
And I built Secret Boston, and I did all this stuff to prove that it was going to stick around.
Yeah.
And now I'm building my business.
All right, so what would you say to other entrepreneurs out there that just want to go it on their own?
Unless you have a trust fund and you don't need to make any money, you have to really love it because there are really hard times sometimes. Sometimes it's lean.
So passion over profit.
Passion over profit, but profit's very important.
Yeah, being able to pay rent, mortgage, and be able to eat.
Big time.
Thank you so much for talking with us today.
Thanks.
There are a million ways to start a business, but how did Michelle do it? Let's find out. She started with around $1,000 in the bank and a credit score of around 700. Her first year sales were around $55,000 with the company operating at a loss. She spent around $1,000 to open her business. And the one word that she would use to describe what it takes to make it in business is tenacity.
Michelle started a really cool business, and it's no secret that she's creating quite a name for herself here in town. For Bostonians that are looking to treat themselves to a nice night out, or just meet up with like-minded people. The secret is definitely out, and Michelle is on the road to success. For more information, log on to our website and click the link for LovetheCool.
It's very, very hard to start a business and even harder to run one successfully. And most fail, most startups fail, the majority of them do, because there's a tremendous amount of even just serendipity, luck you need to be successful. So the idea that you can be a celebrity, throw some money on an idea that's going to be successful has been proven wrong multiple times now. Business is really hard. It's war. There are winners and losers. I try and pick the winners.
Next time on Startup, we head to Providence, Rhode Island to talk to Drake, the owner of Cluck. Then we head over to Ferndale, Michigan to talk to Bradley, who started the Home Store. Be sure to join us next time on Startup.
And then, what is it you do for a living?
I play professional football for the Detroit Lions.
Okay, this is the big question. Super Bowl this year?
Yeah.
Come on, please.
Yeah.
Please, I'm begging. It's been
You've written your own story of success, and it shows. Chrysler is proud to support startup and all the people out there who define their own success.
The Michigan Economic Development Corporation is proud to support startup and all the dreamers, thinkers, and doers. Pure Michigan, ready for the next big thing.
The American small business was built on one thing: relationships. And every time a customer walks through the door, a new one begins. Pay Anywhere was built to help entrepreneurs do what they do best. So keep loving what you do. Just get paid for it. Pay Anywhere.
There is nothing easy about starting a small business. A Baker's Tale, all natural and gluten-free cookies, tarts, pies, and cakes online. A Baker's Tale is proud to support startup and all of the entrepreneurs out there trying to sweeten their own story of success.